Bounce, come on, bounce, come on. That's it. Everybody, Midwest, Dirty South, just bounce. Get your hands up, bounce, come on. East Coast, West Coast, everybody just bounce.
Welcome to the Bounce Media Network. I'm your host, the one and only MC, Mr. J Ski, coming to you live and direct. And today we want to talk about Team USA basketball. All right, we got some exciting news, kind of a no-brainer, but it's what was pretty much expected. Coming to you from Gamebridge in Indianapolis, says the Aliyah Boston and Caitlyn Clark has been selected to represent USA basketball in the upcoming FIBA Women's World Cup qualifying tournament to be held in San Juan, Puerto Rico from March 11th to the 17th. Additionally, let's see, they're going to talk about some coaches. We know Carol Lawson from Duke. She is the head coach. And we got some additional, let's see, we got Natalie Akase from the WNBA, the coach of the Valkyries. She's going to be a floor coach. And let's see, we got Nate Tibbetts from the Phoenix Mercury. He's a coach. And it says, additionally, Fever head coach Stephanie White has been chosen to serve as an assistant coach. Okay. All right, so we got Carol Lawson, the head coach of Duke. Duke's not having a very good season. Actually, they kind of suck. So she's the head coach for Team USA. And we got Natalie Okase from the Valkyries, WNBA. Actually, I like Natalie Okase. She's a very good coach. She did big things with for the inaugural season for the Valkyries, and yeah, I don't have any issue, any complaints. I wish we had her in Indiana. All right, Nate Tibbetts from the Phoenix Mercury, no grudges. You know, Nate Tibbetts he's a good coach. You know, he's a good coach. They kind of, they beat us, a few times, but I'd rather have him with us than against us, I don't have any problem with Nate Tibbetts. Nate Tibbetts he's a pretty good coach. All right. We just don't like the players, but he knows how to use his players to get the results that he needs to get for his team or his organization. Then Stephanie White. We cannot seem to get away from Stephanie White. All right. I was all excited for Team USA, seeing Caitlyn coming back. She's playing in March. It's been, it's been over 6 months, 7 months, maybe since she's played. She's going to be playing with AB, Aliyah Boston, and the best players. So, yeah. Why is Stephanie White there? Yeah. The organization, the league says that, she was 2023 Coach of the Year when she was with the Connecticut Sun. Okay. As the Sun coach, I think she was okay as the Sun coach. We know her history and everything. I went over that in another video. With the Connecticut Sun, that was a good fit. Indiana Fever, not a good fit. And now she's going to be in Caitlyn's ear, for Team USA, potentially messing up her shot, getting all in her head. Hey, did we need this right now? Are you sure you want to do that? I need you to, get out here and play off the ball. you're going to play off the ball, but yet we're not going to create any shots for you. Now, the one thing that I can say is that she's not the head coach. Nate Tibbetts is there. Nadia Acosta is there. Maybe collectively, as a unit, they will potentially make Stephanie White a better coach. I mean, what else do we have to hope for? All right. I can say I'm not happy about this. Obviously, I kind of crashed out for a minute. But yeah, that's me. That was me acting out how I really feel about it, and I wanted you to see that. So it is what it is. But I mean, I don't know. This Stephanie White, man, I think she's going to be more of a hindrance to Caitlyn Clark than like a staunch ally. I don't think she believes in Caitlyn Clark. No, she doesn't. And I mean, Christy Size didn't believe in Caitlyn Clark either, or she was very resistant of the energy that Caitlyn brought. But then she was receptive to it. She allowed it, and they flourished. And going back to Stephanie White in the season when Caitlyn got hurt, and she said, she was all like, well, maybe this is a blessing in disguise. Like, what do you mean it's a blessing in disguise? Your star player is out for the season. How is that a blessing in disguise? Because you don't have to basically worry about being all confrontational with Caitlyn on the court in front of the cameras and Caitlyn giving you the business. So it was a blessing in disguise that you didn't want the headache, that a superstar brings to an organization. And Caitlyn is a superstar. And I know a lot of people think she's the GOAT and all of that. I love the way Caitlyn Clark plays. There's some things I want to get fixed, corrected, and it's called growth, as she grows, but I think she will be the GOAT. All right. I would just say, I mean, I don't want to say A'ja Wilson is a better player. She's a different player, but I mean, I don't know. I think that's all smoke and mirrors with her. If you take away her whistle, she doesn't really, her game is flawed. Now, if she is the player that they're selling us that A'ja is, if you took away the whistle, then she will make her game better, and she will actually get a real whistle, not like a special whistle. You know what I mean? Like Aliyah Boston, I believe that she has the potential to be a better player than A'ja. All right, because she doesn't get the whistle. Aliyah does not get a special whistle, and she's still banging, doing what she does, in the paint. She gave A'ja a hard time in the playoffs last season. So, but Stephanie White, Team USA, it's a head scratcher. It's, like I said, it's not what I would like, but it is what it is. Man, I just hope, I hope the other trio put their arms around her and just say, "Hey, let that girl fly. She's a butterfly. Don't keep her in the cocoon. We need to do this. She's only shooting those shots because she has a high potential of making them. Those passes." The only time it's a bad pass is when the other player on the receiving end doesn't catch that pass. But the pass was good. Now, I'd say probably 10, 12% of Caitlyn's passes are probably not good passes. But that's 10 to 12% out of 100%. All right, so that means 88 to 90% are good passes. It's just the person on the receiving end is screwing up and not catching it. They're not ready for it. But that pass is there. All right. And the logo shots, when she's hot, she's making them shots. In that game against the Liberty, and a game that I actually went to, me, my wife, and my son, we went to that home game in Indiana. I think it was June 14th or July 14th. I forget. But either way, we went to that game, and I didn't even know if Caitlyn was going to play, and she played and showed out. She showed up and showed out and knocked down seven, and 5 of those were logo bombs. Okay, that's what Caitlyn Clark can do in a regular game. That game was high intensity, high impact, and when I was there, the arena was crazy. Everybody was on their feet, and that was my second Indiana game last season. Okay, so yeah, Team USA, they got to get it together, and this is you know, I mean, they got a squad. I mean, you got Aliyah, you got Caitlyn, you got Kalia Copper. Not a big fan of her, but I mean, game recognized game. She can hoop. Okay, Kelsey Plum, not a big fan of her either. She's kind of cringy to me, but Kelsey Plum can hoop. Okay, she had the all-time scoring record for the women's in college before Caitlyn broke it. So you don't get to have that accolade like that without being a very a good player. Okay, so Kelsey Plum is good. All right, don't know why. Well, I'll save that for another video. I was going to talk about why Kelsey Mitchell wasn't chosen, but we're not going to get into that right now. But yeah, Sonia Citron, Kiki Irifin, Paige Beckers. I have a love-hate relationship with Paige Beckers. I like her game. Like I said, game recognized game. The girl can hoop, but I'm just not, UConn, and I don't know. It's just, I don't know, that UConn stench. I don't like it, and it brings a certain mentality and a certain pack type, situation, and that spills over into the, into the pros, into the professional league. And one thing I would say, Utah. I've heard people call it the UConn Mafia, but it's like a gang. You know what I mean? And once you're in that gang, they hold it down. For all their players, alumni and current. All right. But anyway, that's all I want to get into today. Like I said, Team USA, you got your coaching staff. That was just announced, and obviously, congratulations to the dynamic duo, CC and ABC. Let's do it.